Oh, listen, guys, the snow is coming down. The seasons have changed. We know every year, hey, that cold weather is going to come in Chicago. There's no running from it. There's no hiding from it. We know. And so, as I told you guys in the last video, seasons change. And sometimes you got to make adjustments or you're going to be miserable. You know, you can't go into this new season with the same old outfit. You're going to freeze your behind off. In the summertime, you could go to the beach, you could go swimming, that's fun. But you could also have fun in the wintertime. You just got to change your outfit. Me and the kids going to come out here, you know, have a snowball fight, all of that. But we have to make the necessary adjustments. So you know that the season's going to change. Are you prepared? But what I want to talk to you about today is, look, the snow is falling fresh. No footprints in it yet. That's what happens when you come into Christ. He gives you a fresh slate. And now you have to make an imprint in this world. The question is, are you going to make an imprint that the world, you know, accepts, that the world thinks is good? Or are you going to make an imprint that Christ accepts, that goes after the image of Christ? All right. Now the world, they can lay down here and they can make snow angels, right? And you say, oh, that looks like such a good thing. But just because they're making a snow angel doesn't mean it's a real angel. Just because it looks like a good idea doesn't mean that it's a God idea. Just because it looks like love doesn't really mean that it's love. Just because it looks like it's from God doesn't mean that it's from God. So you got to make sure, right? We lay down our life. And when I lay down my life, I want to be made in the image of Christ. So I'm not trying to take on the image of this world. I'm trying to take on the image of Christ. And so ask yourself, when God looks down at you, what does he see? Does he see you just fitting in with the world and you're following the pattern of the world so that you can just be accepted because you want to fit in? Or are you willing to stand out and look different? Are you willing to say, you know what, I see what you guys are doing, but God hasn't called me to move like this. God has called me to move like this. And so I'm going to move how God tells me to move, regardless of not if I get to fit in or not. Because what's more important to you? The people that are down here at this level who are going to look and say, hey, you know, we reject you or whatever, or the one that's looking above that sees everything and is either going to say, well done, my good and faithful servant, or depart from me, I never knew you. I know sometimes, you know, it can be hard, you know, because you know you're going to get rejected sometimes doing what God has called you to do. But when it's all said and done, let me tell you what's most important. God is going to look down, and are you going to have his image? Or are you going to have the image of the world? If you love the world, you can't, the love of the Father is not in you. He's called us to come out of the world and be separate. That's part of holiness. So it's time to make an imprint on the world. Now you can sit there and say, man, look what he's doing. Look how she's moving. Or you can look up and say, I'm going to keep my eyes on Jesus. How are you telling me to move? I'm going to move how you tell me to move. See, some of us, we try to move like other people because we want to fit in. We want to be accepted. But the thing is, you can be accepted by man and then get rejected by God. And so even if people don't like how you're moving, as long as you're doing what God tells you to do, that's all that matters, right? Because your opinion ain't going to get me into heaven. Your opinion ain't going to open doors for me that only God can open. So my focus got to be on Christ. Matter of fact, you down here with me, there's an opinion that is so much higher than yours. And that opinion is the key to where I spend eternity. Do what God tells you to do, no matter what people say, no matter who likes it, even when it's uncomfortable. Because the reward that you're going to get in the end is time to make an imprint. You got to make a decision. Are you going to move like the world? Or are you going to move how Christ tells you to move? Even if I got to move differently than y'all, right? And y'all come and look at what I'm doing and it makes you upset and it makes you mad, it doesn't matter, because there's an opinion that is higher than y'all opinion, and that's the opinion that matters. So listen, we got the pattern of the world. It looks like an angel. And then we got the cross. Just because it looks good doesn't mean that it's what God desires. You got to follow the will of God. There's a lot of good people that are going to go to hell. There's a lot of people that call themselves Christians that are going to go to hell.